Yo, 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 what's going on, people? Salute. It's your boy Jay Jordan back again for another WNBA playoff watch along. Well, we are in the game twos today. So we have game two between the 4 seed Mercury and the 1 seed Lynx. And then later on, we'll have the 6 seed Fever versus the 2 seed Aces. Right, game starts according to ESPN in about 11-ish minutes. So we have 11 minutes to tackle some of these things. Alrighty, so let's start off with the starting lineups. Also fill out the poll who you think is going to win tonight's game. Fill out that poll there. Alright, so starting lineups for the Mercury. They're going with their same starting lineup. Monica Cole-Makani, Kahleah Copper, Satou Sabally, Alyssa Thomas, and Natasha Mack. The subs are Sammy Whitcomb, Kat Westbell, Kit Laxa, Kalani Brown, Dewana Bonner, Lexi Held, and Kiana Williams. No one to report injured for the Mercury. For the Minnesota Lynx, they're starting Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Bridget Carlton, Napheesa Collier, and Alana Smith. Subs off the bench, Jessica Shepard, Natisha Heidemann, Anastasia Larikosu, Maria Kleondakova, Jalen Sherrod, Cameron Taylor, and the person injured is Dejanay Carrington. She's out for the playoffs. Let's put that there. Dejanay Carrington. Cool. So that's all set and good to go. Dejanay Carrington is out. Thurston, what's going on? Salute, salute. Hope all is well. Good to see you in the chat. Tudo, what's going on? Links take care of business, I guess. Nelson, what's going on? Jay, what's your reaction to breaking news about Sandy? Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that. I'll show it to you all briefly, but I will go more in depth during the halftime. During the halftime report. What's going on, Hutch? So this news came down earlier today. Breaking news: New York Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello's contract will not be renewed for the 2026 season. The team announced the organization will begin the search for its next head coach immediately. That came out 11:15 Eastern, a.m. Eastern. So I'll touch more on it at halftime. I'll go more in depth on it. But Sandy Brondello, after 4 seasons with the New York Liberty, including helping them win their first WNBA championship a year ago, is now out as the head coach of the team. So I'll touch more on that at halftime. I have a lot of thoughts on it that I can't fit in the next 8 minutes while we get ready for this game. So we'll touch on that at halftime. Conlena was going happy 29th to Napheesa. Yeah, Napheesa's birthday is today. Hopefully for her sake she can get a win. Empire, what's going on? Salute, salute. Everybody joining up. Appreciate y'all joining up. Appreciate y'all joining. All right, so the Mercury are down 0-1. They had a decent start in the last game against the Minnesota Lynx, but the second half was not kind to them at all. In the second half, they went from scoring about 42, 44 points in the paint, a WNBA record for points in the paint in a half in that first game. And then the second half, I think they only scored like 4 points in the paint. So a big drop off from the first half to the second that they're going to have to figure out if they want to steal game 2 on the road against the Minnesota Lynx. For Minnesota, on the other hand, they just have to get off to a better start. Their finish was great. They went on a nice run to end and pretty much sealed the game away. Ended up winning the game 82-69. I expect a competitive game. Let's see, the playoffs is all about adjustments from game to game. So now it's up to Phoenix to adjust to what Minnesota did to see if they can steal a game here. Game is on ESPN if you're in the States. Game is on ESPN. I'm watching it on ESPN, watching it on YouTube TV to be exact. ESPN via YouTube TV. So we got about 7-ish minutes before the game starts. Yeah, Maddox, yep. We'll talk more about the Sandy decision or the Sandy situation at halftime. Um, but yeah, Sandy Brandella out as coach. So Noel Quinn out as head coach for the Storm. Sandy out as head coach for the Liberty. So two teams that were in the playoffs are now without a head coach and are now looking for a new head coach. So now I think we have about 4 openings in the W. So we have the aforementioned Seattle Storm and now the New York Liberty, and then also you have the 2 new teams that are coming in, the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire. I don't think they've assigned their head coaches yet. Alrighty. So abroad, they're showing a little bit of the commercial for the upcoming game for between these 2 teams. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Excuse me. They're looking on the WNBA countdown. They're looking at the leading scores between in the last game. Courtney Williams led the way with 23. Copper for the Mercury with 22. Then you had McBride from Minnesota with 21. Napheesa with 18. And I think Alyssa Thomas with 16. So we'll see what happens in this one. Brian, salute for the sub. Salute, salute. Salute for the sub. Appreciate that. All right, so we got about 5 minutes before the game starts. About 5 minutes. Dewana Bonner, they said, and she didn't score any points last game. Did have 9 rebounds in 25 minutes. She's one of the only players on this roster, along with Kahleah Copper and Sammy Whitcomb with a ring. So, she's gonna need to produce more off the bench here for the Mercury. What up, Bam? Bam said that he got K Michelle. Oh, I said K Michelle. That's what you wrote. It confused me. Kelsey Mitchell for 15. Dion, what up? Salute, salute. Now make sure y'all fill out the poll. If you're on the Twitch, make sure you write it in the chat. Who do you think is going to win this game 2? Will the Mercury steal a game on the road, or will the Lynx take a 2-0 lead going down to Phoenix for game 3 with a potential to sweep the season, sweep the semifinals? Dion voted Lynx. Salute. It looks like Lynx is in the lead right now. 71% of the chat says Lynx so far. 71%. We're about 3.5 minutes until tip-off here, according to the broadcast. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. We will be doing both games again tonight. So right after this, we'll have the Fever and Aces game. So be on the lookout for that. This stream will redirect you right to that one, so no need to leave. It should just automatically redirect you as they're doing all the in-arena preparation for this game here on ESPN. Bam says 18 Copper for 10, Collier for 15. That should be a easy one there. So to everybody joining, make sure you leave a like as you're coming in. Subscribe if you're new here. We're covering the playoffs all season long. Just as a heads up, I will not be. I think game 3s are on Friday. I will not be on Friday, and then on Sunday I have something to do, so not on Sunday either. So unfortunately, I will not be here for games 3 and 4. If any of these go to a game 5, I will be back for it. But I will be in the Discord. I will put it in the Discord for y'all to take a look at, but I just won't be on YouTube. Discord link is in the channel description and in the stream description below. Join the Discord. Me and some of the folks was watching that game 3 of the Liberty Mercury series. I'm in there. So make sure y'all join up if you don't want to miss anything. Yeah, they ended the game on a 14-2 run. They're talking about game 1. That's how they won game 1, 82-69. Right, we're about a minute away from tip-off. Let your predictions be known in the poll below. 71% say Lynx right now. It's Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco on the call on ESPN here in the USA. So we'll see who comes out on top. I'm yawning already. That's not a good sign. But we going tough it out. Hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully there's no blowouts going on tonight. What's up, Mads? Mads says if Phoenix can break 80, they'll win. Listen, it's gonna be tough, but everybody's gonna have to be on. Everybody's gonna have to be on. Satou, Kahleah, Alyssa, Dewana's gonna have to give help off the bench, as well as Sammy Whitcomb. So they're gonna need everybody to contribute. Looking at game 1, they had a combined 30. They had a combined like 60 points or so. So we'll see. D got it says, who do I have? I'm going Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota for the win. That is my prediction. So hold me to it. Minnesota for the win for me. All right. I almost said halftime. We're about to get this show on the road, people. Thanks for coming on. Am I a new? Yes, I am a New York Liberty fan. But even that aside, I think Minnesota wins this one. All right, so it was a jump ball between Alyssa Smith and Natasha Mack for game 2 of the semifinals. And it's up, and Mack wins the tip for the Mercury, and we are underway here in Minneapolis. Ball over to Satou, guarded by McBride, comes off the screen. Satou out to Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas with the ball, gets into the paint, throws it over in the corner to Copper. Copper drives right. It looked like a travel, but Alyssa Smith, co-DPOY with the block and recovery. Ball over to Napheesa. Napheesa over to Courtney Williams. Handoff to Kahleah McBride off the screen. Corner to Fee. Fee pump fakes for 3 in the right corner. Gets into the paint. Fall away from the middle of the floor. That's her patented shot. Goes middle of the floor. Fall away. Cash. And the home team is up 2-0. Kimo, what up? A ball in play with Alyssa. She backs down. Napheesa tries to go glass with the left hand push shot. Max steals the offensive rebound. They have another opportunity here. Ball over to Satou. Satou, top of the key 3. And she gets off to a good start. Knocks down the top of the key 3 to give Phoenix a 3-2 lead. It's best of 5. Radoslav is best of 5 for the second round for the semifinals. Only the first round is best of 3. And Alyssa Smith tries to answer with a 3, can't knock it down. She struggled from 3 in game 1. I think she was 0 for 4. And she starts off 0 for 1 tonight. Okoa Makani with the ball. Right side of the floor. Finds Mack rolling to the basket. She throws up the push shot. And she scores. So Natasha Mack on the board here. Phoenix up 5-2. Thunderhawk, salute, salute. Chris says, Fever going to fire Steph White and hire Sandy? No way. Absolutely not. Williams over to Bridget Carlton on the curl to the basket. Double clutches. And it's a tip. I don't know. I think Alyssa Smith might get credit for that tip. It was between her and Mac, and it tips right into the basket there. It's 5-4 Phoenix. Mercury over to Copper. Copper left wing three short. Rebound to Courtney Williams. Williams down the lane. Oh, jump past to Alyssa Smith. She wasn't ready for it. It bounces off her hand and out of bounds. Turnover. All right, I got the players on the court, bottom of your screen, so you can see ball in play here with the Mercury. Akol Makani drives left, comes back right, finds Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas, hand off to Copper. Copper curls, drops it off to Alyssa. She almost loses it, and Napheesa on her. She spins back left in the paint, goes up, throws up the right hand, push shot, misses, doesn't hit the rim. Mercury with the offensive rebound. 2 seconds on the clock. Copper has to shoot the three, left wing three at the buzzer, knocks it down. It's 8-4. Offensive rebounds already being an issue here for the Minnesota Lynx. Kahleah McBride comes off the screen, wide open for three, off the back of the rim. Copper with the rebound. Copper quickly across half court. She attacks Carlton, goes right, throws it out to Satou. Satou for another three, and then off the front of the rim. And that should be a foul on Mac for jumping over the back. Offensive foul there by Mac. Over the back foul. And that's her first foul, ball to Minnesota. Thunderhawk, my thoughts on Sandy. I'll give my thoughts at halftime. I have a lot to say about it. I got Minnesota in this one. AR, salute. I got Minnesota in this one. They said it was 16 combined fouls in game one. Very low. Oh, the Courtney Williams loses the ball. Somehow goes to McBride to Napheesa in the corner for three. Napheesa Collier knocks down the corner three. It's 8-7 Phoenix. Ball in play with Akol Makani. Akol Makani, foul line jump shot off the screen, misses. Tip rebound goes out to Carlton. And they get it over to Fee. Fee with the ball. Fee over to Courtney Williams. Transition three is up. Off the left side of the rim and out of bounds. Ball to Phoenix. So ball in play with the Mercury. Mercury ball here. Alyssa Thomas over to Akol Makani. Comes off the screen going left. Tries to get it out to Kahleah. Gets tipped by Bridget Carlton. Excuse me, out of bounds. Ball in play here with Phoenix. Alyssa at the top of the key. Alyssa drives right by Napheesa. Bumps her off. Throws up the left hand push shot and scores. 10-7 with the ball. 10-7 Phoenix with the lead. Minnesota with the ball. Alyssa Smith over to Bridget Carlton. Carlton on the attack. Throws it back out to Courtney. Top of the key here. Courtney gets the slip screen from McBride. Up top, right side to Carlton. Carlton pump fakes, attacks Satou. Drops it off to Alyssa Smith, and she puts up the layup. Left side of the basket. Great ball movement and penetration. Ball to Alyssa Thomas. Over to Satou Sabally. Satou with the ball. Satou comes off the screen going right. Satou tries to find Mac. It bounces off Carlton, but gets to Mac. Mac up top to Thomas. Foul line push shot is off. Rebound to Courtney Williams over to Bridget Carlton. Carlton attacks Satou. Thinks better of it. Comes off the screen going left. Satou fights over. Over to Courtney. Courtney, top of the key. Courtney with 10 on the shot clock. Comes off the screen going left. Jump past Alyssa Smith. Goes up and scores. What Kahleah Copper about to cut her off. Minnesota with the lead here. 11-10. Kahleah Copper jump past Alyssa Thomas in the paint. Throws up the push shot. Can't get it. And then she trips over Alyssa Smith. Courtney Williams quickly up the court over to McBride. Wide open for three. And she knocks it down from the right wing. 14-10 Minnesota. A 7-0 run here in the last minute 21. (14-10) as we have a timeout by Phoenix here. Minnesota with a nice run to get the lead up to 4. Salute to everybody joining. Salute, salute. Salute to everybody here in the chat. I know there has been news. Sandy Brondello, my coach, has been fired. I do have thoughts. I'll talk about them at halftime, but we'll focus on this game 2 at the moment. It's 14-10, Minnesota up over the Mercury. You have 6 from Alyssa Smith, 5 from Napheesa Collier, 3 from Kahleah McBride. For the Mercury, it's 2 for Thomas and Mac. That sound like a law firm or something. 3 for Sabally and 3 for Copper. Hold on, y'all. Need to restart this machine. Start back up. All right, we're in a commercial right now. Salute to everybody joining. Make sure you leave a like if you like this type of content. Subscribe if you're new here. This is game 2 of the semifinals between the Minnesota Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury. Minnesota looking to make their way back to the finals for the second year in a row. Phoenix looking to make it to the finals for the first time since 2021. A finals in which they lost to the Chicago Sky. We will be doing game 2 as well. The other game 2, I should say, between the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces. That game starts at 9:30. This stream will redirect you right there. Once I end this stream, and we'll head on over right there. Napheesa is the only WNBA player to score 50, should shoot 50% from the field, 40% from 3, 90% from the line while scoring over 20 points per game. She's the only W player to do that. They had a graphic up with the other NBA players who did it: Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Larry Bird. The 29-year-old as of today is continuing to get better season after season. She just needs to get a ring to crown this season. Her playoff career high is 21.3 points per game. She's tied for third most all-time, minimum of 10 games. And Dirk. Thank you, Mads. I forgot the other name that they had there. Ball and play here with the Mercury. Sammy Whitcomb has checked in, as well as Kat Westbeld. Oh, Satou tries to get it to AT, but it makes its way to Copper. Copper, guarded by Carlton. Left to right crossover, out to Satou. Satou for another 3, and she buries that one. Bob, salute for the sub. Satou with 2 threes already in this one. It's a 1-point game. McBride over to Williams. Williams drives right, hands it off to Fee. Pass up top to Atlanta. Right side to Courtney. Courtney down to Fee. Fee in the post against Alyssa. Faces up, gets in the paint. One leg fall away that looked off balance, and she misses. Satou with the rebound. Satou out to Thomas. Over to Westbeld. Westbeld, right wing 3. It might have got deflected by Alyssa Smith. That might be 2 blocks by her already. Courtney Williams with it. Shoots a contested midi and misses. Rebound to Satou. Too quick of a shot, in my opinion, there from Courtney Williams. Satou, right side to Alyssa at the 3-point line. Alyssa gets it down to Satou in the post against Bridget Carlton. Goes up, throws up the push shot off the glass and scores, and then hits her with the too little. Hits her with the too little. And it's 15-14. Satou up to 8 points. Courtney Williams off the screen going left. Up top to Fee. Fee loads up for another 3, and it's off the rim. Kat Westbeld with the rebound over to Satou. Satou comes off the screen. Gets it over to Whitcomb. Over to Westbeld. Westbeld pump fakes for 3. Throws it down to Copper and gets fouled on the inbound pass. Fouled by Courtney Williams. Ball in play with Satou. They're showing a replay of Satou shooting the 3 and then hitting that 2. Satou off balance midi from the left hand, from the left elbow, and misses. Carlton with the rebound. Jess Shepard is checked in, as well as Napheesa Heidemann. McBride comes off the screen, gets it out to Fee. Fee pump fakes, throws by Satou, pump fakes on Bonner, shoots over her, and scores. So Napheesa doing work early here. Fee up to 7 points already. Kimo says Satou should stick with his hairdo. What she got? What she got on? Oh, she got the bun. Okay. Thomas over to Bonner. Bonner guarded by Carlton, right wing. Dribbles left, gets cut off, and Napheesa gets a hand on it with a steal. Napheesa on the run here. Napheesa goes up, left hand layup over Satou and scores. I wish he would have hit her with the too little, but Napheesa don't do that type of stuff. 18-15, Napheesa up to 9 points already. Full Meadow says I bet Alana Smith's fantasy and she has half of it. Ball down to Bonner and there's a steal there. Whitcomb with the turnover. Outlet pass to McBride. Heidemann downhill. Thinks better of it. Throws it out to Fee. Top of the key here. Hand off to McBride. McBride back to Fee. Fee loads up for another 3. Off the front rim. Fight for the rebound. Westbeld gets it. Over to Bonner. Bonner to Thomas. Thomas with it now. Top of the key. Guarded by Fee. And gets deflected. Fee almost gets a steal. Heidemann saves it in bounds, though. Heidemann lobs it up to Jessica Shepard like she's Dwight Howard or something. I don't know what the hell that was. Turnover. Thomas over to Satou. Satou down the lane. Goes up and scores. Satou already up to 10 points there. So a silly turnover there. Heidemann lobs it up by the rim like Jessica Shepard was about to throw it down. Turns the ball over and Satou comes back down, scores the layup. McBride with the ball. And Alyssa Thomas with the foul there. 18-17. Yeah, she did throw an alley-oop up there. I don't know what that was. All right, so it is Mercury ball after that foul there. Oh, Jessica Shepard slips and falls, and they call a foul on Mac. Towel man needs to come and wipe that up. Minnesota in the bonus now, so they're going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way. And I think it's the first free throws of the game here. All right, so Shepard at the line for free throws. Let's see what she can do here. And off the back rim and off. Jessica Shepard, not the greatest foul shooter, to be completely honest with you. Who comes in? Kahleah Copper comes in. She was one of the saviors in that game 1, getting a lot of big offensive rebounds. For the Minnesota Lynx as Shepard hits the second. 19-17 is the score. 19-17. Akol Makani over to Sammy Whitcomb. Whitcomb comes off the screen going right. Sammy drops it off to Mac. Mac out to Akol Makani. She drives baseline. Turnaround jumper gets fouled by Heidemann. And she'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Kimo, the poll's up. The poll's up. It should be up. The poll should be up on the YouTube. You probably maybe voted in already. I'm not sure. But it is up. Both teams in the bonus here for these remaining 41 seconds. And knocks down the first, Akol Makani. And Akol Makani misses the second. Fight for the rebound. They call an offensive foul on... Oh, they call a lane violation. I thought they called an offensive foul. They called a lane violation on Kahleah Copper, I believe. So Okoro Makani gets another try to get this free throw down. Okoro Makani at the line for the third free throw now, and she knocks that one down. So it ties the game up at 19. 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We have a tie game. Heidemann with the ball. Drops it off to Shepard. Shepard drives on Westbell. Spins and loses the ball. And Okoro Makani on the run here. And then she dribbles it off her knee and out of bounds. Four turnovers by Phoenix there. And 3 for Minnesota. About a 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock here. Courtney Williams at half court just dribbling it out. Let's see what they try to get here. Courtney Williams drives right, comes back left, shoots the contested midi, and knocks it down. Courtney Williams cashes in from the mid-range. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Okoro Makani finds a cutting Bonner stolen by McBride. She chucks it up, but after the buzzer, and that's how the first quarter ends. So at the end of 1, Minnesota up 2. 21-19 in game 2 after the first quarter. All right, so let's get ready for the second. So Satou, a great start here in this one. Let's take a look at it. 21-19 at the end of the first quarter. Phoenix, you got Satou Sabally with 10 points to lead the way for the Mercury. You have 2 from Thomas Mack and Okoro Makani, and then you have 3 from Kahleah Copper. Their bench has not scored yet. For Minnesota, you have Napheesa with 9 to lead the way for them. 6 for Alana Smith, 3 from McBride, and 2 from Courtney Williams. Then you have 1 point from Jessica Shepard on the free throw. Phoenix is shooting. I'm sorry. The Lynx are shooting 53% from the field, 28% from 3, and they're 1 for 2 from the line with 3 turnovers. The Mercury are shooting 41% from the field, 50% from 3, and they've made all of their free throws, well, both of their free throws. They do have 5 turnovers as a team. All right, so that's the score there at the end of the first quarter. Salute to everybody joining. We have a nice sized crowd here for game 2. Make sure you leave a like if you like this type of content. Subscribe. We've been doing watch-alongs all season long for the WNBA. A couple of the folks here in the chat, my community here, want me to start doing other sports when the W is over. So I'm in the process of trying to figure that out. So we'll see. Kimo, so Phoenix gonna die on the 3-point line. I mean, what are they shooting? They're 3 for 6 so far. Satou with 2, Kahleah with 1. I'm already looking better than last game when they were just dominating the paint. And they couldn't buy anything from outside. So we'll see what gives in the second quarter. 21-19. Home team is on top. So we shall see. All right, we're in a commercial right now. We are in commercial, so you're not missing anything. Once they come back, we'll get back to the action here. But a very good start so far for both teams. Only a 2-point deficit for Phoenix. So they have nothing to be ashamed of so far, but they're gonna have to continue to get stops here. They were up 2 points in the last game in the first quarter. They were up 24-22 at the end of 1. They were up in the whole first half. It was the second half where they fell apart. They only scored 22 points in the second half compared to the Lynx scoring 42 points. So that's where they have to keep their stamina. Hopefully the players don't burn out here in the first half trying to keep pace. Yeah. Feel like there we go. I'm about to say, damn, this commercial feel longer than normal here. The Lynx and Mercury are meeting for the 8th time in the playoffs. 8th head-to-head playoff meeting. Minnesota leads the series 6-1. So Minnesota has had the upper hand. The most playoff meetings all time between two franchises. It's funny. Bonner was on one of those meetings back in the day, and now she's back on it again. All right, ball and play here to start the second quarter with the Lynx. Heidemann with the ball over to McBride, finds Courtney on a curl. She shoots the foul line jump shot, rattles off, fight for the rebound, out of bounds on Bonner. It goes out of bounds, and Minnesota retains possession. You have Courtney Williams to inbound under their basket. Courtney Williams finds Jessica Shepard. She dribbles, pump fakes, back to Courtney. Baseline floater is good. So Courtney Williams with a nice floater, and they're up 23-19. You have Kahleah Copper gets it over to Satou at half court. Satou with the ball. Satou dribbling now with 10 on the shot clock. Spins back to her left. Between the legs, going right. Satou, cross court to Bonner. Bonner pump fakes for 3, gets to the foul line, shoots the jumper, too strong. Klimnikova gets the deflected rebound over to Williams. Williams quickly up the court. She shoots a midi, knocks it down. That's Courtney Williams' breadbasket. No matter contested or not, more often than not, she's going to knock it down. 25-19. She's up to 6 points. Sammy Whitcomb with the ball. She has the last 6 for Minnesota. That's interesting. Whitcomb over to Sabally, excuse me. Sabally picks up her dribble. Nowhere to go. Down to Mack in the post against Klimnikova. Dream shake floater. That's not her game at all. You let her shoot that all game. And Shepard with the rebound. Over to Courtney Williams. Stutter steps up the court. Pump fakes over to Shepard. Left side to McBride. McBride comes off the screen. McBride into the paint. Right hand floater is up and good. So K-Mac with she likes that little scoop. And a timeout called by Nate Tibbetts. K-Mac up to 5. It's a 6-0 run here by Minnesota to take an 8-point lead. 27-19. As we go to timeout here. Listen, Minnesota just has to hit you with one run and the game could be over. But we still have time here. I can't count Phoenix out. But they can't fall too far behind this Minnesota machine. (27-19) is the score. As you can see, 6-0 here in the second quarter. Let me send out a tweet right quick. Dude. Salute to everybody in the chat. We're in a commercial right now. You're not missing anything. Sierra said, "Bam, like a 2x." Yeah. Yeah, you blink and you get, and you're already down damn near double digits in the blink of an eye. Yeah, Alyssa Thomas wasn't even in. She gonna have to play a lot of minutes tonight. After tonight, you got a couple days off. So you got Wednesday, Thursday off, and then you play Friday. So you don't want to go home down 0-2. So she gonna have to play some minutes tonight. (27-19). 27-19. Con Landing with the historical fact here. 2013 was the series between Minnesota and Phoenix when Diana Taurasi kissed Simone Augustus when it looked like they were about to go after each other. I do remember that. DT, boy. DT. All right, we're coming back to the action here. Courtney Williams off to a great start here in game 2. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. And she just likes that mid-range. The mid-range assassin there. So Alyssa Thomas has checked back in. As I mentioned in the last stream, 135 mid-range jumpers, including the playoffs now. Most in the WNBA. A ball in play here with Phoenix. Sammy Whitcomb over to Thomas. Thomas guarded by Fee. They set the screen. Thomas Euro steps through and finishes the left-hand layup. So good play out of that timeout there by Nate Tibbetts. It's a 6-point game, 27-21. Ball over to Williams. Williams dribbles left. Almost loses it. Finds Napheesa Heidemann on the back cut. Pass was a little behind. Copper picks up the loose ball and turnover here by the Lynx. Copper, transition 3, off. I don't know if that was a good look. And Shepard with the rebound over to Williams. Williams quickly up the other way. Comes off the screen. Stops at the foul line. Finds Fee on a back cut. Easy layup. They run that so well. She stops with the ball. Fee cuts back door on Kahleah Copper. Easy layup there at the rim. 29-21. Alyssa Thomas with the ball. Alyssa Thomas in the paint. Backs down Fee. Throws up the left-hand push shot too high off the glass. Courtney steals the ball from Fee, and she pushing it the other way. Bridget Carlton, left wing 3, that's off. Shepard with the offensive rebound. Gets it out to Courtney. Right side of the court. Picks up her dribble. Hand off to Shepard. Back to Courtney. 8 on the shot clock. Courtney Williams with the ball. Over to Fee with 4 on the clock. Fee steps out of her shoe. Gets it to Courtney. Courtney for 3 and misses. Fight for the rebound. Tipped out to Thomas. Thomas goes behind the back. Out to Copper. Copper with the catch and finish. That was a interesting possession there for the Minnesota Lynx. Napheesa steps out of her shoe. Has to get it to Courtney, who misses. And Copper leaks out for a right-hand layup. 29-23. Heidemann over to Bridget. Right side of the floor. They got Thomas guarding Bridget. They get it down to Fee. Satou on Fee. Fee on the right side of the court. Gets into the paint. She likes that one leg fall away. It gets fouled by Satou. So Napheesa will go to the line for 2 free throws. Rob says, "Hey Jay, always thank you for your work. You paint such a clear picture. I feel like I'm at the game. Appreciate it, Rob. Try to make it feel like, or make it feel like you guys are there. You're listening. You could picture it. So I'm glad it's working. Appreciate that." Napheesa at the line. First free throw is up. Knocks it down. Hopefully she tied them shoes up tight. Stepped out of her shoes on that last possession. Second free throw is up for Napheesa, and she knocks it down. So Napheesa, what she got? She in double figures now. She's with 12 points. Cole McConney with the ball. So it's Cole McConney. Thomas, Bonner, Satou, and Copper. Back to Cole McConney. Top of the key. Comes off the screen. Drops it off to Thomas. Corner to Copper. Down to Bonner. Bonner double clutches and got blocked. Was that a block by Courtney Williams? Wow. Gets it over to Fee. Fee pump fakes for 3. Drives by Bonner into the paint. Misses the layup. And rebound to Satou. Satou crosses half court. Hook pass over to Thomas. Left side to Cole McConney. For 3. And it's short. I notice, and that's a foul on the Lynx. On the offensive rebound there. They call a loose ball foul. I noticed also Cole McConney likes to kick out that leg a little bit when she's shooting threes. So Cole McConney misses. And they called Napheesa. Oh, that's a little weak call to me. They called her with a hook. But that'll look weak to me. Satou gets downhill, goes up, goes off glass with the right hand, misses. Rebound to Atlanta Smith. Over to Courtney Williams. Williams crosses half court, almost goes back court. Cole McConney with the defense, but she gets across. Whoa, that was close. Alyssa Smith over to McBride. McBride, left corner three. K-Mac knocks down the three. Biggest lead of the game, 34-23. Lynx on top here. Satou with the ball. Picks up her dribble. Shoots a deep three. I don't know about that one. And a deep left wing three is off. And Courtney Williams quickly on the back attack. Kahleah Copper is on Courtney Williams behind here. K-Mac over to Courtney Williams, but a foul away from the play on that screen by Alyssa Smith for Kahleah McBride. Hey, cuz, what's going on? Empire said, nice chat crowd tonight. Do you know what my largest chat is? It was during, I think, it was during like a WNBA draft or something. That's Kahleah McBride shoots over Sammy Whitcomb. You got the two quickest releases in the W and shoots the midi from the left-hand side. 36-23. This game getting ugly here. 13-point lead. Phoenix has to respond here. Satou with the ball. Satou attacks left. Drops it off to Thomas at the foul line. Thomas out to Kahleah Copper. Comes to set the screen. Back to Thomas. Thomas in the paint against Fee. Jump stop. Slide through. Push shot. And they call a foul. And Thomas is yelling at her teammates like, come on, y'all. Come on. We need this. So Alyssa, I didn't even hear the whistle. It was so loud there in the arena. So Alyssa Thomas will go to the line for 2 free throws. (36-23). Alyssa Thomas at the line. First free throw is up and good. That's 2 on Courtney Williams. They're going to keep her in the game here with 2 fouls in 2 quarters. Thanks, Linda, for that. And Alyssa Thomas knocks down the second. They're being outscored 15-6 here in the quarter. It's 36-25. Both teams have shot 4 free throws already. Courtney Williams slips in that same spot. Towel man need to do a better job as Feach takes a 3 and misses badly. Rebound to Whitcomb. Whitcomb quickly up the court. There's a Phoenix Mercury player in the backcourt. And almost a backcourt violation, but Sammy saves it. Whoa. There was a ref that was right there that didn't call the backcourt, but the ref that was on the other side called it. So I don't know about that one. That's a iffy call to me. The ref that was right there on the line doesn't call it, but the ref lets it go. But man, that's an iffy call to me. I don't know about that one. Kahleah McBride with the ball. Picks up her dribble over down to Fee at the right elbow. Fee faces up on Thomas. Fee goes across the lane. Handoff to Alyssa Smith for 3. And she just can't buy a 3 right now. Kahleah Copper down to Mac. Mac goes off her fingertips and out of bounds. That was a bad call. You're right, Sierra. How the ref all the way, not even on the line, calls the backcourt, but the ref that's right there doesn't. That's when I think the ref should be like, nah, it wasn't. But we move on. Ball with Courtney Williams over to Alyssa Smith. Is 5th time a charm? And it is. Alyssa Smith knocks down the 3. And she was 0 for 2 to start. Now she's knocked one down. Whitcomb over to Thomas. Thomas over to Kahleah Copper. Corner to Copper. Left corner down to Thomas in the post. They bring a double over. And she gets fouled there by Alyssa Smith on using the body. Yeah, Empire. That was from so far away. It was very questionable in my opinion. So 17-6 here in the quarter. 17-6. Ball and play to Whitcomb. Whitcomb drives left, stops, reverses, fall away. Good. Sammy Whitcomb with a tough shot there. Gets it to fall. Ball over to Kahleah McBride. Finds a cutting Alyssa Smith and a foul there by Sammy Whitcomb. So Team Australia versus Team Australia there. And the bigger Australian won the foul call. So we have a timeout here on the floor. Phoenix down 12 here with 2:50 to go in the second quarter. Kimo says Copper even scored. Yeah, she has 5 points. She hit a 3, and then I think she hit like a layup or something like that. Yeah, Copper's up to 5, but she's been quiet. She has been quiet. Let's take a look at this right now. 39-27, 39-27 with 2:49 to go in the second quarter. Minnesota outscoring Phoenix 18-8 in the quarter, which is why they have the advantage they do. Phoenix, you got Satou with 10. She had all 10 in the first quarter and has gone quiet ever since. 6 for Alyssa Thomas with 4 assists. 2 for Mac and Akoa Makani. 5 for Kahleah Copper on 2 of 5 shooting. Off the bench, Sammy Whitcomb just scored that turnaround jump shot for her first 2 points. Phoenix shooting 36% from the field, 33% from 3. And they have 7 turnovers as a team. For Minnesota, Napheesa with 13 points and 3 steals. You have none from Bridget Carlton, 11 from Alana Smith with 6 rebounds, 10 for Kayla McBride. And you have Courtney Williams with 6 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Off the bench, only Jessica Shepard with a singular point. Minnesota shooting 54% from the field, 30% from 3 on 18 attempts, and 75% from the line. Marvin says, do they not put subs in? Yeah, they put subs in. They have put subs in, but Sammy Whitcomb is a sub. Bonner and Westbeld are subs. For the Lynx, Heidemann, Shepard, Kleon all subs. They've all come in. But in the playoffs, your big dogs is who you really ride with unless they show you otherwise. But both teams have been running like an 8-player rotation in these first 2 games. And salute for the comments. Satou and Copper have to learn to play together. Do you notice only one of them have a good game and then it swaps the next game? Yeah, you have a point there. You have a point. But the Lynx are a well-oiled machine. They force you to your weaknesses. So Phoenix is gonna have to adjust. As we come back to the broadcast here. All right, they're showing Napheesa on her birthday here. Today is Napheesa's birthday, 29 years of age. And she's off to a good start. Taking a little bit too many threes for my liking. She's 1 for 4 from 3. But it's undeniable she's one of the best players in the W. Can score from all over, can play solid defense. So she's a force to be reckoned with. Ball in play here with Minnesota. 2:45 to go. Courtney off the screen. Courtney keeps the dribble alive over to Bridget. Bridget loads up for a right wing 3 and she misses. Ball over to Sammy Whitcomb. Whitcomb crosses half court. So that's one of the subs. Over to Copper. Copper comes off the screen. Goes corner to Whitcomb. Whitcomb, quick release from the corner. And right corner 3 for Sammy Whitcomb. She knocks it down. Rob, we'll talk about it at halftime. No, all the Sandy comments, we'll talk about it at halftime. Courtney Williams going to her left, pulls up for the midi. Bridget Carlton with the tip-out rebound over to Courtney Williams. Over to Napheesa, right baseline 2. Excuse me, not 3, 2. As she knocks it down. Offensive rebounding leading to second chance points. 41-30, 11-point game here, under 2 minutes to go. Copper off the screen, in and out dribble, gets to the right elbow, picks up her dribble. She travels. I thought they weren't going to call it, but she definitely traveled. And it's a turnover by Phoenix. So Minnesota forces you to make these tough decisions. And if you're not secure in what you're doing, it's going to be a long night. Ball in play here with Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams crosses half court over to Alana Smith, over to Bridget, right side of the floor by the 3-point line. Courtney comes to get it with 10 on the shot clock. Alana Smith sets the screen right, but she goes left. And Courtney Williams double clutches from the left elbow and scores. But it was a little miscommunication there, but Courtney Williams just ends up making a big shot. Natasha Mack on the pass from Whitcomb on the roll, and she scores. So it's 43-32. Yeah, Liz, getting late early as Napheesa spins on Alyssa Thomas. Nowhere to go. Bumps off, shoots the fall away, and scores either way. Napheesa Collier got walled up by Thomas. Oh, and Alyssa Thomas with a bad pass. Williams with the steal down the lane, lays it in. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Cross-court pass from Alyssa Thomas. Courtney Williams laying in the weeds there. Pounced on it, coast-to-coast layup. And the deflection and the ball goes out of bounds off of Mack. Phoenix absolutely capitulating here. Napheesa gets into the paint, bumps off Thomas again. One leg fall away, her patented fall away for Fee, and it's unblockable. Williams over to Fee. Fee pump fakes for three, blows by Thomas. Jump stop gets blocked by Mack and out of bounds. Didn't even jump. She just put the left hand out there and said, get that out of here. 47-32. No, she did jump. I gave her too much credit. She did jump. Yeah, Chemo. I mean, she was taking too many threes. I'm like, all right, Fee. You're unblockable when you get into that paint and you hit that fall away. Like, just get down there. Hide him into inbound under their basket. And they call a foul before the ball's inbounded. So that's a automatic free throw here. And away from the play foul. So they get a free throw and the possession. Satou wanted a review, but Coach Tibbetts like, I don't think that I will. So K-Mac for the it's technically a technical free throw. So K-Mac at the line for the free throw, cashes in. 48-32. What's up, Pikachu? Pikachu's mom. Yeah, I wouldn't challenge that one either. Ball over to K-Mac. Off the inbound, just turns and shoots. Long rebound goes all the way out to the three-point line back to her. Fee for a three. And off Fee. Listen to me. And another offensive rebound by Bridget Carlton here. Heidemann into the paint. Out to McBride. McBride for three. And she misses. Another offensive? I was about to say. Matt gets the rebound. Over to Alyssa Thomas. Shot clock is off. My clock is behind. It's 8 seconds to go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Whitcomb on the catch. For the three is off. Fight for the rebound and out of bounds on Minnesota with 0.2 to go. So they can only get a tip shot at the basket. Sammy Whitcomb, the inbound under their basket. Gets it in and deflected by Heidemann, and that's how the quarter ends, mercifully, for the Phoenix Mercury. So at the end of 2 at the half, 48-32 at the half. They outscored them 27-13 in the second. Phoenix only made 5 field goals in that second quarter. Yikes. Like Liz says, it's getting late early. The fat lady warming up her vocals, all that stuff to signify that this game is hanging in the balance here for the Mercury. All right, let's get ready for halftime as I'm over here rambling. We got 15 minutes for halftime, people. 15 minutes for halftime starting now. All right, let's take a look at the box score, and then I'm going to tackle the other preliminary stuff, and then we'll get into the Sandy Brondello news. 48-32 at the half, 48-32. Phoenix outscored them in both quarters, 21-19 in the first, 27-13 in the second. For Phoenix, Alyssa Thomas, 6 points, 4 assists, 2 turnovers. One of those last ones that she tried to go cross court to, I don't know who it was, and Courtney Williams just picked it off, went coast to coast. Cannot have that. 10 points for Satou Sabally, all in the first quarter. She's been quiet since. 4 for Mac, 5 for Copper. She's been quiet too, and 2 for Okoa Makani off the bench. Whitcomb with 5. They're shooting 37.5% from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and they've made all 4 of their free throws, but they do have 9 turnovers. For Minnesota, Napheesa with 17. You have none for Bridget, 11 for Alana Smith, 11 for Kayla McBride, and 10 for Courtney Williams. As you can see, 4 of their 5 starters in double figures already. Natisha Heidemann, not yet to score. Jess Shepard with 1 point off the bench. They're shooting 51% from the field, 25% from 3, 80% from the line. I'm looking at the rebound battle. The Minnesota Lynx are winning that 19-14. They're also winning the assist battle 14-10. And let me take a look at ESPN, because I do want to take a look at the points in the paint. Remember, in game 1, Phoenix owned points in the paint in the first half. They had like 44 points in the paint at the half. Tonight, at the half, they only have 16 points in the paint, so half of their points have come from the paint. The Lynx are up to 20 points in the paint. Phoenix has given up 11 points off of their 9 turnovers. The Lynx have given up 5 points off of their 4 turnovers. All right. So that is the box score in this game. Minnesota winning all of the major statistical categories, and it reflects in the score at the half, 48-32. All right. Let me see what y'all have to say in the comments. Ron C, what up? I've just got in, sitting down, ready for the second half with a bunch of green sealers out of respect. Salute, Ron. Man said this game was over before it began. Clean sweep 3-0. It's looking that way. I'll put respect on Phoenix to get possibly one at home, but they lose this game, this series is over. We're going to talk about that. I just want to get through this stuff. We're going to have a lot of time to talk. So as you can see, this game's going on now. At 9:30, right after this game, we will be covering this as well, between Las Vegas and Indiana at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, so stay tuned. After these game 2s, the series shifts to the other team's home ground. So we're off Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be back. Oh, well, I won't be back, but the series will be back on Friday for Las Vegas, Indiana, live from Indianapolis. And you have Minnesota and Phoenix live from Phoenix. We'll see if we'll see if Indiana and Minnesota are going for 3-0 sweeps, or if they're going to go back up in the series 2-1. So that those games will be on ESPN2. And then we go till next week we have Saturday off, and then Sunday, game 4 will start on Sunday. And we'll see if the series are over on Friday or we'll have game 4s on Sunday. We'll see. My prediction is possible. I think this Vegas Indiana series will go at least to a game 4. Minnesota Phoenix. It's not looking too good at the moment. All right, score is 48-32, and let's get to what everybody has been talking about. The big news out of today. If you didn't know, you might have been hiding under a rock or just locked in with your day-to-day activities. But Sandy Brondello, head coach of the New York Liberty, her contract will not be renewed for the 2026 season. The team announced earlier today. The organization will begin the search for its next head coach immediately. All right, I got 10 minutes to get all my thoughts out about this, so let's get right to it. So Sandy Brondello not getting her contract renewed. According to reports, she was on a 2-year contract that started last season, right at the end of last season, with a team option. So she had a contract for this past season, and then the team would evaluate and see if they wanted to sign her for the second season. And the team opted not to. So let's go over Sandy Brondello's resume with the New York Liberty. I want to show you guys some of her career as a coach. So as you can see here, Sandy Brondello, she was an assistant in the W. From '05 to '09 with the San Antonio Silver Stars, which later became the Las Vegas Aces. That was before they became the Aces, of course. She became the head coach in 2010 of the Stars, and then in 2011 and 2013 she became an assistant with the Sparks. Where she made her big break was in Phoenix, where she became the head coach of the Phoenix Mercury, won a championship in her first year with Diana and Bonner and Griner and that squad over there. And for the next couple years, um, she didn't. She made the playoffs, but didn't win any championships. She made it back to the finals, her final season in Phoenix in 2021, where they lost to the Chicago Sky. Then she was let go, and not Phoenix, the Liberty signed her that offseason, and she became the head coach of the Liberty. In her first year with the Liberty, they were the 8th seed, and they played Chicago. I remember. I think we played Chicago in that first round. It was a 3-game series. We won game 1, and then we lost back-to-back games. Then the big three, the super team era began, and we signed Vandersloot, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. They made it to the finals that first year and lost on their home floor in game 3. Or no, it was game 4, excuse me. They lost in game 4 on their home floor to a injured Aces team, missing Chelsea Gray and their starting center, Kia Stokes. So the Liberty said, all right, we have a chip on our shoulder. We're going to come back next year. They ran it back, and they ended up getting to the finals and winning last year. No matter how controversial the ending was, they ended up winning that championship. So that's when they signed her to a 2-year extension. And this season, as we all know, yes, there were injuries. Yes, key players were in and out. But if you've been watching the Liberty over Sandy Brodnello's tenure, especially the big three era, you could always seem like for the amount of talent that they had, they were not fulfilling it to the best of their ability. There was times I'll just be crashing out over quarters where a team with that much talent shouldn't be scoring single digit points in a quarter multiple times. We Liberty fans knew it as the third quarter. It was the third quarter. We'll come out of halftime and we just forget how to play basketball and let teams back in the game. A lot of people also recognize her reluctance to use rotation when a star player is not playing well. She'd rather go down with the ship with the star player not playing well at all rather than trying to sub somebody in and shake it up a little bit. I will give her credit. She did end up starting Leo and benching Vandersloot last year, and ended up putting in Niara at halftime in that game 5 where they won the championship. But a lot of the X's and O's and the rotations were always very shaky. And a stigma that's on Sandy is that she only knows how to win with super teams. So in Phoenix, she had the Bonner, DT, and Griner with a lot of solid pieces around, and they won 1 championship in her 7-8 seasons there. So my opinion is that the Liberty saw the writing on the wall. She did win the championship. She'd made it to the finals twice, but how long do you wait to see if she can get you back to that promised land? So not a lot of people are upset at the timing of it all with her just winning the championship. I know I'm glad I'm not the person making those decisions, because as much as I wanted to see and hear a new voice, I don't know if I would have had the balls to pull that 1 year after she won. But with the league going into new CBA, everybody becoming free agents, there's a big shakeup. Who's to say you're gonna have another super team to have her coach? And we've seen what she's done with teams that are not super. It hasn't had the same success. So they cut ties early, and they're going into the off season looking for a new head coach. You can't take anything away from her. Sandy Brondello is a great player motivator, I wouldn't say great. She's a very good coach. She knows how to manage personalities. She knows how to inspire confidence into her players. All of her players have loved her for everything I've heard. But there comes to a point where you can see during the season, even with the injuries that the Liberty had, that they just didn't have I don't they just weren't motivated enough to continue to do the little things right. So the rebounding was a big issue this year. They were first in rebounding last year, or top of the league in rebounding. This year they dropped down to bottom of the league. Loose balls, you didn't see people diving on the floor, whether that's personnel or her. That's up to her debate. But with these types of situations, once the team starts to regress, the head coach is always easier to part ways with than it is the players. So I appreciate Sandy for everything she's done. She did great things for the team. When she came, we had just lost to her team the previous year. We lost, that was before they converted the first round to best of three. It was a single elimination. We played the Phoenix Mercury and we took them with just Sabrina, Natasha Howard, and Benai Jelani Hamilton. We took them all the way down to the wire. We lost by 1 point in that game. But I got to give her credit. She took us from 7th seed to the finals twice, won a championship, and now we fell down to 5th seed. So I appreciate Sandy for everything she's done. I gotta put respect on Sandy Brondello's name, but I think it was just time for a new voice in the locker room. After 4 seasons, Sandy Brondello is out as head coach of the Liberty. You got Cheryl going for her 5th, but Cheryl's been there since like 2010, and she got 4 in the 2010s. So, but Cheryl's also the GM over there is Cheryl Nation. So, that's my thoughts on the situation. Now it's up to the Liberty to go out and see who they can find in free agency. I don't think any of the coaches that are available, like a Noelle Quinn or a Tanisha Wright, are the right fit for the Liberty. I think they'll try and go get somebody from the NBA ranks, one of those woman assistant coaches. I'm not too familiar with all the assistant coaches in the NBA, so forgive me, but there are some really good assistant coaches, associate coaches in the NBA that could come over. I don't think they'll go to college and get a coach. So I think that's the next step for the Liberty. Now the question is, what are the expectations for the Liberty next year? Is it championship or bust? Or is it or does that coach get grace? Because Sandy got a 3-year runway, and she won the championship in her 3rd year. So I think they'll probably go along those same sort of ideals there. Yeah, Jerby, I can't deny Cheryl's influence. I just can't. Cheryl has been a really solid and positive influence for the Minnesota Lynx. You can't deny 4 championships, winning every other year in the 2010s. So I have nothing bad to say about Cheryl's coaching acumen. Ron says, so I'm happy with a fresh pair of hands going forward. Yeah, fresh pair of hands, new ideas, fresher ideas. Somebody who's more of a tactician than Sandy. Sandy's X's and O's left a lot to be desired for the talent that we had on the roster. It was pretty much like, all right, we'll run this 5 out and we'll just rely on our stars all the time. And then if the stars go down, what do we do? Sonia was actually our assistant coach this year too, though. So I think they'll get rid of that whole regime. I don't think any of the assistant coaches may stay because they're all under Sandy. All right, that was my rant on the Liberty. If we have some more time, I'll get back to it. But the game is coming back on. Thanks for listening to that rant. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them as we go on throughout this game. But let's get back to it. Let me turn my volume on. 3rd quarter beginning now. I didn't even reset for the 3rd quarter. But let's get it down as we have a turnover here by Minnesota to start the 3rd quarter. All right. Ball is back in play here with the Phoenix Mercury. Let's see if they made any adjustments out of halftime. That was an area where Sandy sometimes lacked with the Liberty. Coming out of halftime, teams would make adjustments, and she couldn't, or she couldn't adjust to the adjustments. But Satou misses a 3 again. All right, I'll stop talking about the Liberty. Let's get to this game. Ball in play here with Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams over to McBride. Thanks, Sierra. I try a little bit. McBride up top to Smith, over to Williams. Williams comes off the screen, going to her left. They leave her open. Left elbow jump shot. You just cannot leave her open, bro. It's like money in the bank here. 50-32, 18-point game. 12 for Courtney. She's 6 for 11. Kahleah Copper over to Satou. Satou dribbles left, hand off to Copper. Copper is going to need to come alive here. Over to Thomas. Thomas back to Copper. Copper comes off, and a kickball there by Fee on the entry pass to Thomas. Shot clock resets to 14. Ball in play here. Ball over to Kahleah Copper. She gets down the lane, throws up the right-hand layup from the left hand, and scores. Nah, he's probably fired. Usually they clear out when the head coach gets fired. So he's probably gone along with him. They just haven't officially said it yet. Williams over to Smith. Left side to Bridget. Bridget spins, goes left, steps through, gets fouled by Copper, gets smacked in the face or in the head, and she'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Now Olaf and Sandy are a package deal. Wherever Sandy goes, Olaf goes right along with her. So, ball and play here at the free throw line with Carlton. She knocks down the first free throw. I don't think Olaf is head coaching material anyway. Second free throw is up and good. 52-34. Kahleah Copper with the ball over to Satou. Right side to Thomas. Thomas, handoff to Kahleah Copper. She shoots the 3 and knocks it down. Kahleah Copper with the 3. 52-37. She was 1 for 10 in the playoffs from 3 and knocks it down. Gets it over to Courtney. Courtney off the screen from Fee. Keeps the dribble alive. Cross court to McBride. McBride for 3 off. Tap rebound goes to Mack, and Mack gets it over to Kahleah Copper. Oh, almost a back court there. Over to Satou. Down to Thomas. Thomas guarded by Fee. And Fee, another cross court pass stolen by Courtney Williams. Williams bounce pass to Alyssa Smith. Goes up with the left and scores. What a shot. Courtney Williams to Alyssa Smith. Don't know how she finished that. Now Satou, right wing 3 is up. Satou, a first quarter merchant. She's been brick squad since. Back to Satou. Satou pump fakes for 3, goes downhill. Gets blocked by DPOY Alyssa Smith. Punches that into the first row. No weak stuff in here. Alyssa Smith, that's her 3rd block of the game. Pikachu's mom. That's a funny one. I just read that comment. Ball in play and missed by Satou. As I said, she's a first quarter merchant out of bounds. And it's Minnesota ball here. 54-37. Miracles at where Sandy goes, us old heads, WNBA supporters will go. Yeah, I mean, I respect it. But all the best to her. It wasn't all her fault this year. I don't want people to think it was all her fault, but the coach always takes the brunt of the blame. Ball and play with Courtney Williams. She's been an absolute monster. Spins off. Finds Alyssa Smith on the roll. Pass just a little too far ahead. And it's a turnover by Williams. 6th turnover by the Lynx. Ball and play here with the Mercury. Kahleah Copper with the ball. Comes off the screen, going to her right. Kahleah Copper. Pocket pass to Thomas. Hand off to Copper. Back to Thomas. And it gets kicked again. The Lynx are okay with kicking those pocket passes. It just resets the play. So Phoenix ball here. 14 on the clock. Ball in play here with Satou. Over to Thomas. Top of the key here. Satou calling for the play. She says, Akoa, come get this. Gets it over to Akoa Makani. Akoa Makani drives right behind the back pass to Thomas. Thomas, corner to Copper. Copper has to shoot it. Doesn't even recognize the shot clock. Shot clock awareness is just all off. 11th turnover here. Ball in play here with the Lynx. 54-37. Courtney Williams over to Atlanta Smith. Smith, hand off to Courtney, going to her left. Courtney Williams shoots the midi from the left wing. High fives her dad, I think, is in that area, and knocks it down. You just can't. Akoa Makani got blown up on the screen, but she comes back and answers with the midi of her own. Akoa Makani, she's the offense here in the second half for the Minnesota Lynx. Akoa Makani with the ball. Left side to Fee. Fee for another three. Oh, Fee cashes in from the left wing three. Fee up to a quiet 20 here on 8 of 15 shooting. She's 2 for 6 from 3. 20-point games and 20 points for Fee. Satou with the ball. Satou off the screen from Thomas. Satou drops it off to Thomas. Gets deflected. Max saves it. Out to Satou. Top of the key three. And finally, her first point since the first quarter. Ooh, excuse me. And Ryan Rucco listening to me, he said the same thing I just said. 59-42 is the score. An offensive foul here by Bridget Carlton, I believe. So it's a turnover by the Lynx. 59-42. Conlan said, I think the Liberty wants to look for the Carl Smesco or Natalie Nakase. Yeah. Somebody with just fresh ideas, you know, more of a tactician than just player empowerment and stuff. I mean, that's cool and all, but sometimes players need to be coached and told what to do, you know? Run some X's and O's. Ron, you funny. So the Mercury looking to inbound. They're waiting to inbound here. I don't know what's the delay here. Finally, they get the ball in play. Mercury with the ball. Oh, no, they're not with the ball. Oh, they're wiping off the ball. I guess the ball got some residue on it. So they're wiping off the ball. Oh, Alyssa Thomas is bleeding on her arm. She has blood on her jersey. They're wiping off the ball because there was some blood on the basketball. So they sprayed a bunch of peroxide. Alyssa Thomas got blood all over her shorts. So they might. Oh, it's I think Satou Sabaly's bleeding on her arm. So they got to clean that up as well. So we have some infection control here. Yeah, her whole arm is like leaking right now. I was wondering. I thought it was Band-Aids on it, but I guess not. Yeah, so we're in infection control timeout right now. Satou Sabally with a bunch of blood on her left arm. They're wiping it up. They're gonna tape this up as soon as they can. Ron said nails are issuing the W. Yeah, I remember even in the NBA, I remember my favorite player, D Wade, as the ball finally gets back in play. He was saying when they used to play the Pistons back in the day, and Richard Hamilton, Rip Hamilton, as he was known, used to never cut his nails. So when D Wade was running off these screens, Rip Hamilton used to like dig his or used to grab his arm and then cut his arm when he was trying to hold on to him. So some players use it to an advantage, as nasty as it is, or as sinister as it is. All right, Phoenix ball here. It was another kick ball here. Satou gets it in the West Belt. Top of the key, over to Thomas. Thomas at the three-point line. Fine, tries to get it to Sammy. Does get it to Sammy. Sammy jump past to Thomas in the lane. Double clutches and scores. Right at the basket. 59-44. Markieff Bonner has had minutes. She hasn't done much with them. Thanks for your comment. Markieff Morris? What? I just remembered what the name was. Smith goes downhill, misses the left-hand layup. Ball over to Satou. Satou comes across half court, gets his brush screen from Thomas. Rescreen, going left, finds Thomas on the roll. Pass was behind her and stolen by Alyssa Smith. Oh, she almost travels, and she ends up turning it over anyway, throws it out of bounds. Timeout here. A little sloppy here in this third quarter. Turnover after turnover as we go to a timeout here. 59-44. Salute, Markieff. Salute. So we're in a timeout right now. We can take a look at the box score while we have some time. 59-44. Phoenix leading the way 12-11 here in the quarter. For Phoenix, you got Alyssa with 8 points, 7 assists, does have 3 turnovers. Satou at 13, 4 for Mac, 5 for Copper, 9 for Kahleah Copper. Sammy Whitcomb with 5. You have Minnesota, Napheesa Collier with 20. 2 for Bridget Carlton, 11 for Alyssa Smith, 11 for K-Mac, 14 for Courtney Williams with 7 assists and 4 boards. And their bench only 1 point from Jessica Shepard. Nobody else has contributed. But they're still shooting 52% from the field. So it hasn't been bad field goal shooting, but their 3-point shooting, they're at 28% from 3 on 18 attempts. Jerbear said, I can't believe this is the same team who beat New York. See it? That's what I'm saying, Jerbear. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's part of the reason why Sandy had to go, man. Am I saying it was all her fault? Because JJ was absolutely horrific in that playoff series. He was horrific like the whole month of September. But to look that incompetent against Phoenix while Minnesota's just picking them apart, I don't think the GM could deal with looking at that. Empire said maybe Kosa would get a point or two tonight. Yeah, who's that guy who said 10 points for Kosa? Was that you? Oh, the Lions game was nice. I did catch a little bit of it. Bob, salute. Thanks for your comment. The channel's nothing without the people who find it and listen and interact. So I appreciate everyone who's finding it and interacting here. If you like this type of content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new here. We won't be back for games 3 and 4. I do have prior engagements, but I will be in the Discord showing it for people who want to watch and talk about it with other people. I will be in the Discord, and I'll pop in and out to interact with y'all. Broadcast is coming back here. Most consecutive semifinal appearances, 7 straight for Alyssa Thomas. Asia, Jackie, Alyssa, and Napheesa. From 2019 to present, Alyssa Thomas, of course, a majority of that with the Connecticut Sun, and now with the Phoenix Mercury. Napheesa Heidemann, same thing. Majority with the Connecticut Sun. As we start back, majority with the Connecticut Sun, and then now with Minnesota. Sammy Whitcomb comes off the screen wide open for 3 and misses. Courtney Williams with the long rebound. They keep picking up their dribble at half court, and another turnover by Minnesota. Ball over to Kahleah Copper. Comes off the screen going left. Tries to gets it into Westbell. Nice seal on Heidemann and scores. So 59-46. Ball down to Shepard, and another turnover by the Lynx, but then they turn it back. Oh no, Alyssa Thomas picks it up. Alyssa Thomas, corner to Westbell. Westbell wide open for 3 and knocks it down. And a timeout called by Minnesota. It's a 10-point game. A 10-0 run by Phoenix. Listen, Phoenix right back in it. A 10-0 run by Phoenix. Silly turnovers on back-to-back possessions out of a timeout. I don't know what just happened there. At least it makes the game a little bit more interesting, but that was ugly. Yeah, Empire, you know I hate that jump pass, man. She crosses half court, jumps up, and then looks to pass it to somebody, results in a turnover. It's silly. Uh, It's silly. But listen, I ain't in the pros, so what do I know? But at least Phoenix showing some life here. A 10-0 run by the Mercury to get it within 10. Alejandro says I just need Thomas for 14 field goal attempts. Oh, more power to you, my friend. Ooh, refreshing. All right, that was a quick 20-second timeout, I guess, by the Minnesota Lynx. Like lazy pass there by Kahleah McBride. Kat Westbell did a jump pass herself. It just got lucky. It made its way to Thomas. So let's see how the Minnesota Lynx respond here out of that timeout by Sandy. Almost called her Sandy Brondello. Cheryl Reeve. Alejandro, appreciate y'all. Salute to everybody in the crib. Salute to all y'all. Ball and play here with Courtney Williams. Top of the key. Comes off the screen going right. Courtney Williams keeps the dribble alive. Gets into the paint. Nowhere to go. Finds Mack in the corner. Kahleah McBride goes baseline. Dribble. And she goes out of bounds. So another turnover here. So 7th turnover of the quarter for Minnesota. Phoenix's defense has turned way up here. Phoenix can get it to single digits here. Things can get really interesting. Alyssa Thomas goes downhill, stops, left wide open, left-hand layup. It's an 8-point game here. Don't count Phoenix out. I did, but don't count them out. They're on a 12-0 run here. Courtney Williams off the screens, gets all the way, corner to Bridget Carlton. Carlton drives middle of the floor, dribbles back out to 3. Over to K-Mac. K-Mac comes off the screen from Napheesa, shoots a contested 3, too strong. Bonner with the rebound. Over to Okoro Makani. Over to Alyssa Thomas. Crosses half court here. Thomas calls out the play. Thomas over to Whitcomb, left side of the floor. Over to Thomas. Thomas, left side, guarded by Napheesa. They give her the baseline. She bumps off feet, goes up, misses. Tip rebound over to Williams. Williams on the go. Williams over to McBride. Left wing 3. Big 3. K-Mac knocks it down. They needed that one badly. They were raveling. Back to a double-digit lead, 62-51. Kahleah McBride with 14. Ball down to Thomas. Yeah, Alejandro, I'll be on the next game too, my friend. Ball over to Bonner, left side of the floor. Bonner, wait, what just happened? The broadcast did some foolish. Broadcast is freezing up. Anybody else broadcast freezing up, or is it just me? Ball over to Bonner. It's like they just did like tape delay here. Bonner steps through, throws up a contested shot, and they call an offensive foul. That the broadcast just rewound like 5 seconds. I don't know what happened there. Okay, at least it's not just me. I just wanted to make sure YouTube TV about to say, yo, give me a refund. McBride with the ball, drives left, back out to Williams, top of the key. Williams guarded by Whitcomb, behind the back, dancing with it. Left, right to left crossover, gets to her left midi, misses. Westbell with the rebound and gets it over to Thomas. Thomas with the ball. Thomas in the paint, doesn't do nothing with it, dribbles back out. Hand off to Kahleah Copper. She's been absolutely silent and continues silent. Way short on that 3. Barely grazes the rim. Minnesota with the rebound. Approaching a minute to go here in the third. Williams out to Napheesa. Napheesa top of the key 3. And she shoots an air ball. And Fee, get your ass in the paint. I mean, sorry. Excuse my language. Get your behind in the paint. I went from 5 seconds behind to 5 seconds ahead. Oh, that's interesting. Ball and play here with Phoenix. 51-62. 50 seconds to go. 5-0. Would come off the screen going right. Goes up top to Thomas. Left hand off to Copper. Copper out to Westbeld. Westbeld for another three. And that's 2 threes for Westbeld in the quarter. So they found something off the bench with Kat Westbeld. And it's an 8-point game. Westbeld up to 8. Yes, that Kat Westbeld is the sister of Maddie Westbeld on the Chicago Sky. Both went to Notre Dame. Kat is the older sister. As McBride dribbles out the left corner over to Bridget Carlton for 3. She tries to answer and can't. Thomas with the rebound. Shot clock is off. Alyssa Thomas with the ball. Kahleah Copper is grimacing here. She's grabbing her right ankle. Oh, that's not a good sign. Thomas into the paint. Tries to back down Fee. Jump past to Kahleah. Over to Sammy. Sammy at the buzzer. And she didn't get it off in time. And that's how the quarter ends. Kahleah Copper is limping here as she walks to the bench. Phoenix cuts it down. The lead was as big as 20, but it says it's an 8-point game now. Oh, they showing the replay. She turns her ankle on Kat Westbell's foot. So friendly fire there as Kahleah Copper goes to the bench to get that checked out. She turned that right ankle. She's been dealing with like lower leg injuries all season. So this is tough. But with Phoenix made it a game. I can't complain. Salute to Phoenix for making it interesting. This could have got ugly. They could have gave up when they were down 20. But it's an 8-point game. I'm 15 seconds ahead. Man, thank God I got my YouTube TV settings figured out, because I remember I was behind a lot of y'all for a bit. Let's take a look at the box score as we get ready for the fourth and final quarter. 62-54. They outscored Minnesota 22-14. They forced 7 turnovers in that quarter. So Phoenix turned up the intensity on defense. They brought in Kat Westbeld. And Kat Westbeld had a big 8 points there in that quarter. 2 threes and a layup. So Phoenix goes to their bench and it produces good results. 62-54. Let's take a look at the box score. You got Phoenix. Alyssa Thomas with 10 points, 8 assists. Double watch for her. Satou Sabally with 13. She scored 10 in the first, 3 in that third. So she's going to need to come alive, especially with Kahleah Copper now only with 5 points, grabbing her ankle. It's not looking good for the young lady. Hopefully she can just tie up them laces, tighten them braces, and get back out there. Akol Makani started off the quarter really well with 9, with some big points there. Mad, salute for the super chat. Thanks, Jay, for considering other sports. Not a Listen, I got y'all. I'm gonna figure it out. I gotta go through. I gotta check on some things, but I'm gonna figure it out. Empire said Jay and the broadcast are almost dead on together on my end, but both are behind the website. Yeah, the website is always gonna be a little bit ahead, especially ESPN, which is why when we get down to crunch time and the game's close, I take off the stats off the screen, because I don't want to see. I have a screen that has the stats on it that shows the score, so I try to. That's why I look this way where I'm watching the game, because I'm trying to ignore the score that's ahead of me all game. For Minnesota, got Fee with 20 still, 2 for Bridget Carlton, 11 for Smith, 14 for Mack and Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams on double watch with 8 rebounds to go with 8 assists to go with those 14 points. And then we have only 1 point off their bench. So Minnesota's doing all this with only 1 point off of their bench. So they need Heidemann or Shepard to give them something in terms of points. All right, broadcast is coming back for the fourth and final quarter of this game 2. Searches for Napheesa Collier, according to Google, are spiking 150% in the U.S. This is her 15th career playoff game with 20-plus points. 11th since 2024. Most in the W. All right, fourth quarter has started with Phoenix in possession. 8-point game, 15-3 run to end that third quarter. So Thomas gets it over to Bonner at the left elbow, guarded by Carlton. Out to Thomas, back out to Bonner. Bonner, snatchback dribble, picks up right pass over to Sammy Wickham into the paint. Double clutches, floater is up, it rolls in and out. Westbell almost had the rebound, but it's tipped out, and Shepard gets it over to Heidemann. Back to Shepard. Shepard in the paint. Dribbles back out. Shepard, hand off to Kahleah McBride, going to her right. Kahleah McBride, guarded by Bonner. Down to Shepard in the post. They bring the double over. Shepard steps through, goes up, and somehow splits the double team with no dribble and scores. Tough shot there by Jess Shepard to get her first field goal of the game. Sammy Wickham, quick response? Nope. Shepard with the rebound. So the lineup is McBride, Shepard, Klindakova, Heidemann, and Carlton for the Minnesota Lynx. McBride off the screen going right. McBride, corner to Heidemann, down to Shepard in the post against Bonner. Finds Heidemann. Heidemann out to Klindakova. She steps back for a three. She could hit those, misses that one. Rebound to Sammy Wickham. Wickham over to Thomas. Thomas, the freight train. No look past to Wickham in the left corner. Thomas falls down, and they call a foul there on Shepard on the trip on Alyssa Thomas. A little late of a call, but they call it. Empire said Kosu getting some screen time. I like Kosu. Oh, wow, I forgot to end the poll. Yo, y'all forgot me to remind me. I'm ending the poll. Man said New Zealand rugby? Nah, I can't do that. I don't even know. I don't understand rugby. Ball and play here with the Mercury. Over to Bonner. Bonner comes off the screen. Right elbow jump shot. Off the rim. Off the top of the backboard. And misses. Shepard with the rebound. Bam. Copper got an ankle injury. She's on the bench. I don't know if she'll come back in. Shepard gets it over to Carlton. Carlton with the ball. Guarded by Westbell. She attacks Westbell. Spins. One leg fall away over Westbell. Bridget, you're not in Europe. You can't be doing that. And then Shepard throws it right to Westbell. 10-point game here. Satou gets the ball stripped and stolen. McBride cruises all the way down. Nobody within range. Timeout by Nate Tibbetts. And it's back to a 12-point game. Oh, whoops, wrong person. Now Satou Sabally limping. It's 66-54. See, defense to offense, and it results in an easy layup for Kahleah McBride. Do I think Thomas is getting 14 on Brody? It's a tough call. I mean, she gonna need to if they want to come back in this game. So I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. All right, 66-54. We got 7:54 to go here in the fourth and final quarter. Phoenix was down as much as 20 points. They've clawed their way back to within single digits, but Minnesota has outscored them 4-0 in the quarter so far to push it back up to double figures. Yeah, so Copper towards the end of that third quarter stepped on her teammate's ankle on defense, and she was in a lot of pain, limping to the bench. So we'll see if it was just a quick hit of pain or she's gonna come back to the game. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll inform you if she comes back. All right, so we got about 25 minutes away from the game 2 between the Fever and the Aces. This stream, once I end it, will redirect you right on over there. While I have some time, I'm going to start the poll over there for those who, so I don't have to rush and do that. So let me start the poll. Who will win game 2? Fever, Aces. All right, so I got that poll started over there, so that's one less thing I have to remember. Peekaboo, I just put some diamonds on my chain. Peekaboo, 80 point in like a Kobe game. Sorry, they playing this Gatorade commercial with this song. Alejandro said, "Why are they not using Thomas?" I mean, Thomas can't do it all. This is where in the playoffs where her skill set sort of becomes a hindrance to success because teams know she's not going to shoot from outside the paint. She's going to want to get downhill or pass the ball to teammates. So when it gets to the playoffs, when teams are exploiting your biggest weakness, and then other people are other teammates are dealing with injury or they're having bad shooting nights, it puts you in a tough spot. All right, let's get back to it, y'all. Ball and play here with the Mercury. Alyssa Thomas, the aforementioned, goes up, gets blocked by Kahleah. She steals the rebound, though, throws it out to Satou. Satou for three, and Satou for three. Okay. That's a big three by Satou to get it back to single digits here. 57-66. Ball handoff from Shepard to Heidemann. Heidemann goes over to Carlton. McBride and Carlton in the corner, and they call a foul there by Satou? Yeah, foul by Satou. So they had to retape Kahleah Copper's ankle. They took her to the back to retape it, and now she's back on the bench. So we'll see if she gets inserted back into the game. Heidemann finds McBride on the back cut, and she finishes the layup. Heidemann to McBride, back to double digits, 68-57. Thomas with the ball. Thomas, handoff to Whitcomb. Whitcomb comes off the screen from Thomas. Thomas, off balance, floater is up and good. Sammy Whitcomb with the floater from the right elbow. So back to single digits, 68-59. They're fighting here in the second half. Can they get enough stops to complete the comeback? Over to McBride. McBride off the screen, gets it over to Kahleah. Down to Shepard. Shepard saves it. Over to Carlton, has to get it up. Well, she didn't have to get it up, but she got it up and misses. Rebound to Satou. So it looks like the Cavalry's coming back in. Smith, Collier, and Williams coming back in. Whitcomb misses the three. Rebound by Kahleah over to Shepard. That's what Kahleah does. She comes in and gets rebounds. A big body that they lacked last year. Over to Heidemann. Heidemann comes off the screen going right. Picks up her dribble. Finds Bridget Carlton wide open for three. Can she hit one? And she just can't. Thomas with the ball. Outlet pass to Bonner. Bonner down the lane goes up. Layup is up and good. First points of the series for DeWanna Bonner. 68-61. 7-point game. Heidemann with the ball. Over to Bridget. Bridget got to hit these open threes, bro. That's what's killed them. Bridget off the screen going left. Doesn't go all the way. Dribbles back top of the key. 6 on the clock. Down to Kahleah against Bonner. She spins. Throws up the hook in the lane. Goes for the rebound. Goes off her fingertips and out of bounds. So now the Cavalry will come in. Fee, Smith, and Williams all come in for this final 5.5 minutes. Ball in play here with Phoenix. What can they do? Oh, no, it's not. And they're about to inbound. 92nd career playoff game for DeWanna Bonner. Most all time. Sammy Whitcomb with the ball. Dribbles left, comes back right, comes off the screen. Sammy drop off pass to Thomas. Thomas, the push shot way off. And the long rebound gets tipped out to Bonner. Bonner over to Satou. Satou for three. Oh, Satou Sabally, timeout Minnesota. 4-point game here. 7-0 run by Phoenix in the last 2 minutes. Satou Sabally with some big shots here to cut down the lead. and then shows up the three finger guns at Fee. Wow. Okay, Satou now up to 19 points here. Uh-oh, it's getting interesting here, y'all. It's getting interesting here. Salute to everybody in the chat. Phoenix looked down and out, down 20 in that third, responded with a 13-2 run or something like that, and now they're outscoring the Lynx 10-6 in the quarter. They have it within 4. This is the closest they've been in a long time. Phoenix, Alyssa Thomas with 10 points and 11 assists, so she gets the double-double. 19 for Satou. She's had 9 points in this second half after going 10 points in the first quarter. 4 for Mac. Mac doesn't get too many minutes down the stretch. 5 for Copper and 9 for Akol Makani. Copper is about to check back in at the after this timeout. Sammy Whitcomb with 7, Westbeld with 8, and 2 for Bonner. So 17 points off of their bench. For Minnesota, you got Bridget Carlton with 2, 20 for Fee. She's been on 20 for a bit. 11 for Alyssa Smith, 18 for Kahleah McBride, and 14 for Courtney Williams with 8 assists. Jess Shepard with 3, and that's the only bench points they have. So their bench is getting outscored 17-3. Minnesota's bench is getting outscored 17-3. 68-64. Mercury on the comeback trail here. Do they have enough to get over the hump? There's still a lot of time left. 5:18 to go. Phoenix can make this really interesting. But Satou, she hit Bridget Carlton with the too small move earlier in the game. Now she throws up the 3-point finger guns at Fee. Fee might need to get some get back now. Right. We're still in commercial here. Still in commercial. All right, the broadcast should be coming back now. Yep, it's coming back now. 68-64, 5:18 to go in the fourth quarter. We have a half a quarter left in this game 2. Who will come out on top? They're trying to get their crowd hyped up over there in the Target Center in Minneapolis. Will the Lynx go 2-0, or will the Mercury steal on the road and tie the series up 1-1? Satou throwing up the finger guns at Fee is absolutely hilarious. Ball in play here with the Lynx. Alyssa Smith, handoff to Williams. Williams, top of the key here. Finds Fee on the curl. Fee at the foul line. Fee spins, almost gets it stripped. She gets on the floor, dropped it to Williams, and the ball is loose. Williams gets it over to Fee. Fee lob to Alyssa Smith. Alyssa Smith with the layup at the buzzer and scores. Wow. They did all of that and just beat the shot clock and gets the layup. I think they want to review it to see if it counts, but the refs say, yeah, that counted. 70-64. Wow. Wow. It was a loose ball. Phoenix played 23 seconds of great defense. The loose ball ends up right at the basket on the pass from Fee to Alyssa Smith, and she reverse lays it in. Insane. Thomas, hand off to Whitcomb. Whitcomb wide open for 3. They need it, and Sammy responds with a 3. 3-point game. 70-67. 4.5 to go here. Courtney Williams with the ball. Williams keeps the dribble alive, guarded by Alyssa Thomas. Gets it over to Alyssa Smith, left side, over to McBride. McBride comes off the screen, spins into the lane, goes up with the left hand layup, rolls off, and Bonner with the rebound. Phoenix with a chance to tie with a 3. Alyssa Thomas with the ball. Thomas over to Satou. Satou for the tie, and she's short, long rebound. She gets her own rebound over to Copper and gets fouled there by Williams chasing down that rebound. Wow. We have a good one on our hands, people. Oh, they're reviewing that field goal to see if it's a shot clock violation officially. So if the bucket stands, the score stays the same. If it doesn't, it's a 1-point game. Yeah, she got it off in time according to that look. Yeah, it's confirmed made. So the points stand. Ball in play here. Ball over to Alyssa Thomas. Sammy Whitcomb comes off that screen over to Thomas. Corner to Bonner. Bonner for the tie. Air ball. Rebound by Bridget Carlton. Carlton over to Williams. Williams crosses half court. Williams keeps the dribble alive. Williams goes over to McBride, left side. McBride goes behind the back, slips on the floor, loses the ball, and Sammy Whitcomb with the steal. Over to Thomas, over to Satou. Satou goes up, layup gets fouled, and one. And with a chance to tie, and she gives a nice little flex. Satou Sabally's come alive here in this fourth quarter. Uh-oh. So Satou at the line to tie it up for the three-point play. Satou ties the game. 22 points for Satou. It's a tie game here with 3.5 to go. Wow. 13-2 run here in the fourth. Courtney Williams with the ball. Courtney days wide open. Gets to her kill spot. Misses the midi. Tip rebound goes out to Courtney. Over to K-Mac for three. Oh, big three by Kahleah McBride from the right wing. Offensive rebounds leading to second chance points. Paying off. Sammy Whitcomb with the response and misses. Fight for the rebound, and Napheesa comes up with it. Yeah, Chemo, that's Satou's thing. Let's see if he'll come back to bite her. Williams with the ball. Jump pass, another jump pass, turns into a turnover. Bonner with the steal, layup, and score. 1-point game. And the ball trickles away. They stop the clock here. It's the jump passes, people. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but Courtney Williams in traffic, jump, no-look pass. Just turning the ball over a lot in this second half. 73-72. Phoenix outscoring Minnesota 40-25 in the second half. Fee over to Atlanta Smith. Atlanta Smith with the ball. Down to Fee against Thomas. Right side of the court. She faces up. Gets into the paint. Stop. Bumps her off. Goes glass and scores. Napheesa said, I'm getting the bucket no matter what y'all try to do. 3-point game here. Satou off the screen. Satou stops at the foul line. Jump shot is up. Can't get it. Atlanta Smith gets the rebound. Tipped and out of bounds. It remains Minnesota basketball. And then she says, and one. So it's Minnesota basketball here. Kahleah McBride now has blood. A lot of people bleeding tonight. Blood on her knee. Or on her left. That's not her left. Her leg. $75, $72, $217 to go in this one. McBride with the ball. McBride crosses half court, guarded full court by Sammy Whitcomb, and a foul by Sammy Whitcomb on the handoff. And it's Kahleah McBride trying to pump the crowd out here. I don't know. Could go either way for me. Ball in play here with Minnesota, and then we have a foul away from the play on Thomas. So that's back-to-back fouls here by Phoenix. They're not in the bonus yet. And Fee starts clapping sarcastically. Alyssa Thomas talking to her as she's inbounding the ball. I love it. Smith down to Fee. Fee dribbles out of it. Fee gets it over to Courtney Williams. 7 on the game clock. Shot clock, excuse me. Fee, Hezzy gets into the paint. Hangs. Layup going right and scores. Courtney Williams, big layup there. And her dad over here saying, oh, her dad's not courtside. Her dad's a little further back. But he's over here rejoicing as his daughter goes to the cup and scores. 5-point game here. Reset timeout called by Nate Tibbetts. 1:55 to go. This is why you keep your dribble alive when you're coming off these screens, because it gives you an opportunity to still attack the basket. Courtney Williams up to 16 points, 9 assists, 1 assist away from the double-double. Satou, guarded by McBride, drives right. Picks up her dribble over to Sammy. Sammy drives left. Keeps her dribble alive. Pocket pass to Thomas. Gets the ball stripped away by Fee. And the ball makes its way over to Alyssa Smith. Over to McBride. Finds Fee. Fee on the attack. Blows by Bonner. Left-hand layup. She smokes it. And she's on the floor. They have numbers if they want it. Alyssa Thomas pushing quickly up. Drops it off to Bonner. Corner to Satou. Over to Sammy. Sammy out to Bonner. Bonner, top of the key 3. Too strong. Long rebound to Courtney Williams. 1:20 to go here. 5-point game. Minnesota trying to hang on. Blew a 20-point lead, but they've regained a 5-point here. Satou guarding tightly on Williams at half court. Courtney Williams blows right by Satou down the lane, hangs for the layup and smokes the layup. Oh my goodness. 5-point game. A minute to go here. Thomas with the ball. Top of the key. Goes corner to Bonner. Can Bonner pump fake for 3? She drives in, goes in, gets blocked by Fee, and out of bounds. Napheesa with the block. Back to Salute. What up? Oh, Bonner almost traveled, almost carried. That could have been a foul body to body there. And then Fee glances down at her like, child, please. Even though Bonner's older, but you know what I mean. Sammy finds Satou in the paint, misses the layup, and gets the offensive rebound and put back. 3-point game, 47 seconds left. This has been a fight to the finish here in this 4th quarter. Phoenix, never say die as we go to time commercial here. Timeout by the Lynx. Lynx possession when we come back. 3-point game. Wow. 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 That's all I can say, people. Never say die for the Phoenix Mercury. Wow. 77-74. Bam. Copper's out there just being a decoy. I don't think she has it to go right now. I think that ankle might be deterring her. Sierra, just seen you. You sent me something. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I just seen it pop up on my iPad. Appreciate you. Max, you said I'm tired of Charlotte Reeve winning. All right, so the Mercury have 2 timeouts left. Minnesota has 1 and a reset. I think Phoenix also has a reset left as well. Everybody has the posters. Drive for, well, they want they want that 5th title for Cheryl Reeve. She has 4 already. Trying to get her first of the 2020s. Markeith, yeah, you might be right there. Carlton to inbound and a 5-second violation. You got to be absolutely kidding me. Turnover here by the Minnesota Lynx. They can't even get the ball inbounds. Bridget Carlton trying to get it in. And everybody was just stuck. It looks like Williams and Alyssa Smith both collide there. Wow. So it's Phoenix basketball here with a chance to tie with a 3. Sammy with the ball at the controls. Gets it over to Copper. Copper drives right. Hand off to Bonner. Up top to Thomas. They want it back to Copper. Copper, top of the key here. Picks up her dribble over to Bonner on the right wing. 8 on the shot clock. Gets it over to Thomas. She bumps off feet, hits the floater. It's a 1-point game. Timeout, Phoenix. Timeout, Minnesota. It's only a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. It's a 1-point game. I don't know what Phoenix will do. I don't know what Phoenix will do here. Will they foul immediately or will they try and foul here? Because it's only a 1 second difference. They cannot see the shot clock, the game clock out here. They get the ball into McBride. McBride with the ball, and they call a foul. They had a foul to give. Foul is on Satou Sabally, I think. Or on Alyssa Thomas. I can't really tell who that was on. I think it was Satou. We have a substitution happening. Atlanta Smith goes out. They bring in Heidemann for free throw purposes. 77-76. A WNBA playoff games always is good for them. And then Kahleah Copper intentionally fouls. So now Courtney Williams will go to the line for free throws. When the good teams start playing, yeah, they get good. But this one has lived up to the billing. It looked slow at first, 20-point deficit for Phoenix. But in that third quarter, they clawed back. They got it to 10. And then now they've got it within 1. So Minnesota's in the bonus now. They're shooting free throws the rest of the way. But now these are pressure free throws here for Courtney Williams with 21 seconds, 20.7 seconds to be exact. As Williams knocks down the free throw, the entire arena, you can hear a pin drop in there. So the method they went with is to foul and just make this a free throw game. Courtney for the second free throw, and she knocks down both. Pressure free throws here. Back to a 3-point game. 79-76. Phoenix calls a timeout as Courtney Williams takes a deep exhale. So Phoenix down 3 with the ball. 20 seconds to go. We'll see if they'll go early to see if they can extend this game some more, or if they'll run out the clock and try and get a 3 at the buzzer to send this to overtime. Yeah, Empire, that's her dad. He became a sensation during last year's playoffs. So Mercury with 1 timeout left. So do the Lynx. They both have their challenges left, but they don't have any reset timeouts. Minnesota has 1 foul to give. So they have 1 foul they can use without sending Phoenix to the free throw line. I guess they'll play it by ear to see if they'll take it early. But we'll see. That's the decision here, MacTube. A quick 3 or 2. I say if the 2 is open, you go for it. And you play the foul game again. Will Alicia score a 3? Alicia? Who's Alicia? Oh, you mean Alyssa? Alyssa will not score a 3. Alyssa can't even shoot. She got no shoulders. I was like, who's Alicia? All right, Sammy the inbound here. From the right side of the court, gets it into Satou. Satou with the ball. Satou at half court. Satou on the attack. Satou gets it over to Sammy. Sammy pump fakes for 3. 3 looks like it got deflected by Williams. Copper with it. Satou over to Whitcomb. Whitcomb sidestep for 3 in the tie. Oh my goodness. Sammy Whitcomb with a big 3 with 3 seconds left. Sammy Whitcomb missed the first 3. Offensive rebound, swung around the perimeter. Sammy Whitcomb, big 3. Oh my days, and it's quiet over there in Target Center. Offensive rebound, gets it out to Copper. They double Copper over to... Oh, Atlanta Smith fell for the 3. She escapes to the left and shoots the 3 for the tie. They had a foul to give and they did not use it. I guess they're not thinking about that at that point. So I gotta give them their props there. Minnesota uses their final timeout. Wow. Atlanta Smith falls for the three. She jumps. Whitcomb dribbles left and hits the three. Wow. Brett, you're absolutely right. We got ourselves a game. So let's see what happens here, people. I'll stick on this game. I'll stick on this game all the way through. I'm not gonna switch over to the other game. We might have overtime on our hands, people. We might have overtime. 79-79. 3 seconds to go here. Minnesota ball. You got McBride to inbound. McBride gets it into Fee. Fee on the attack. Fee, fall away for the win. Oh, overtime. We go into overtime. Wow, what a response by the Phoenix Mercury. From 20 down, season on the line here, pretty much, because going down 0-2 is a bad omen. And she hits Sammy Whitcomb off a loose ball scramble, hits the three to tie it. But Napheesa gets a good look, falling away. Thomas says something to her as she misses, but we go to overtime here. Wow. But that play by the Phoenix Mercury, scramble drill, everybody fighting. They go for the double. Sammy Whitcomb sidestep three. Wow. So we're going to the fifth quarter, overtime, 5-minute overtime. Let me get my stuff ready here. Wow. What a comeback, people. What a comeback. Yeah, this game will overplay the next game. The next game they saying it start in like 5 minutes or so. So I'll only join that next game when this is over. Jerbeer said I cursed us with the Kosu talk. Wow. What a game we have in our hands. I'm gonna put something in the chat over there that I won't be joining until overtime is over. We have OT in the first game. Will come over when it's done. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a game. There we haven't started the overtime yet. We're tied at 79. Love Christ, you've been rolling with the Merc. I got to salute it. I got to salute it. Let me get the stats back up here. Salute to Phoenix. They fought, and they clawed all the way back in this game. Predicated on defense. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Very good game here. And Brett said I needed this overtime. Damn, everybody needs Thomas for one more shot. What is this? That was like a promo or something for her to take a certain amount of shots? Or y'all got the same capper that y'all all follow. What's going on here? They're still holding the other game? Thanks, Randy. Now it says now on ESPN2. They might have to give that game up or might have to start that game, honestly. All right, jump ball here. Start of the overtime. Last time in the playoffs, the Mercury were the what's their name is? The Lynx were in overtime. They lost, and that was game 5 of the finals. So let's see what they can do here. Thomas with the ball. Thomas picks up her dribble, gets it over to Satou. Satou, right side of the floor. Satou in the post against Bridget. Spins, fall away, jump shot from the baseline, short. Ball on the floor, out on the Mercury. It goes to the Lynx. Brett, salute, salute. Appreciate it. Ball in play here with the Lynx. Williams over to Smith. Smith, top of the key here. Finds McBride. McBride pump fakes for 3, right side of the court. Steps back, corner 3, and it off the rim. Rebound to Mac. So who's not on the court? It's all the starters but Akoa Makani for the Mercury. Whitcomb gets downhill, throws it out to Thomas. Thomas, foul line push shot is up and good. So Alyssa Thomas with the basket. And they have the lead for the first time since the first quarter. Since it was 15-14. Courtney Williams with the ball. Gets it over to McBride. McBride in the right corner, back up top to Williams. Williams with the ball. Left to right crossover. Stops at the foul line. Fall away jump shot. Off the back rim and misses. Thomas with the rebound. Uh-oh. Them overtime nerves starting to pick up. Thomas gets downhill. Euro steps through the lead and misses the floater by a lot. Air ball. Courtney Williams with the ball. Quickly up the court. Goes behind the back. Courtney. Corner to McBride. McBride out the corner. Bad pass tipped by Mac, but Carlton saves her. Oh, McBride over to Williams. Williams for 3 off the back rim. Long rebound picked up by Whitcomb. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whitcomb with the ball. Whitcomb dribbles left, comes off the screen going right. Over to Thomas. Thomas on the left elbow. Hand off to Whitcomb. Whitcomb slows down. Gets it to Thomas. Thomas at the foul line. Body and Fee. And gets fouled there. And Thomas and Fee get into it. Ah! Thomas and Fee mouthing off at each other. So Thomas will go to the line for 2 free throws. If I'm Fee, I'm taking the charge there. I love it. I love it. Let's get negative. Thomas, first free throw is up and good. Minnesota yet to score in the quarter. Fee should have just stood there and took the charge. She was trying to go body to body. No Chris Brown. And she ended up fouling. She misses the second, though. Thomas with the miss. Score it for the other games, top of your screen, so y'all can keep track of it until I switch over. Williams with the ball. Finds Fee. Will Fee go for some get back here? Guarded by Thomas. Thomas with a smile on her face. Fee with the ball. Finds Courtney. Courtney gets the ball stripped by Thomas and stolen. Sammy Whitcomb with the ball. Right side of the court. On the 3-point line. Sammy guarded by Fee. Up top to Bonner. Bonner calls for Sammy to come get it. Sammy guarded by Fee. She tries to drive at Fee. Goes up. Misses the layup. Rebounded by Fee. Sammy falls on the floor. And Smith with the ball over to Williams. Williams with the ball. Williams dribbling at the 3-point line. Picks up her dribble. Down to Fee in the post. Fee against Bonner. Fall away. Short. And Thomas with the rebound. Uh-oh. I told you. The overtime has them shaky right now. Gets it over to Bonner. Bonner with the ball. Bonner gets it over to Thomas. Thomas with 10 on the clock. Sammy Whitcomb drives, gets into the paint. Corner to Copper. Copper for 3. Oh! Kahleah Copper. 6-point lead by Phoenix. And it's 85-79. They have not scored in the fourth quarter. It's 6-0 Phoenix here in the quarter. Copper has been quiet since the first. She hits a big 3 here from the left corner right in front of the Minnesota bench. Gives Phoenix a 6-0 lead. I mean, a 6-point lead. I'm telling you, man. The last time Minnesota was in the overtime in the playoffs, They lost the finals. Maybe those memories coming right back here. Oh, that's a foul on Bonner on the reach-in. Wow. And they don't call it. Ends up shooting. Wow. And the ref was looking right at it. Wow. I just saw that replay. I just saw that replay. That should have been a foul on Bonner on the reach-in. But Phoenix is outscoring Minnesota 53-31 since halftime. All right, we'll see what happens here. Mercury 0 for 4 in the fourth, in the overtime. Phoenix is 2 for 5. Wow. So Bridget Carlton to inbound here. Satou saying something to her in the corner. Trying to get in Bridget Carlton's head. They get it into Courtney Williams. Williams with the ball. Top of the key here. Williams. They switch everything for Phoenix defense. Get it down to Fee against Copper. She spins and loses the ball in the paint. It's quiet there in Minnesota. Nervous energy over there. Sammy Whitcomb with the ball. Whitcomb dribbles left, comes back right, goes back left off the screen from Thomas, over to Bonner. Top of the key, left side. Bonner, right to left crossover. Bonner into the paint, dribbles back out. 5 on the clock. 4. Bonner crossover on Smith, goes baseline, gets blocked by Fee. It's a shot clock violation. Wow, big stop there by Fee, but they have to put the ball in the basket. Wow. Smith inbounds to Courtney Williams. 1:10 to go here. Mercury, Lynx have yet to score. Excuse me. Williams with the ball. Escapes Sammy. Gets into the paint. Throws up the floater. And finally, they get a basket in the overtime. 4-point game here. Under a minute to go. 85-81. Alyssa Thomas with the ball. Thomas tries to attack Fee, bumps Fee down. She falls down over to Satou. This could be the dagger. Satou hits the side of the backboard. Oh my goodness. She hits the side of the backboard on a wide open dagger. Courtney Williams over to Smith. Smith down to Fee against Sammy. Shoots the fall away, rolls around, and they needed that when it falls. Timeout, Mercury. 85-83. Wow, Satou, for all the glory there, wide open right corner 3, hits the corner of the backboard. Like, as bad as you could probably miss. That's probably worse than an air ball. Wow. Courtney Williams finally gets a point in the quarter, and then gets the ball to Fee with a mismatch with Sammy Whitcomb. Fee goes to her patented fall away. Can't even see you, Sammy. You too little. It bounced on the back of the rim a couple times and drops. "30 seconds to go. Both teams with 1 timeout and 1 reset left. We'll see what happens here. Napheesa up to 24 points. Kahleah with 21. Courtney Williams with 20. So 3 of their starters combined for 65 points here. 65 of their 83. Satou, Alyssa, and Sammy are the big 3 for Phoenix tonight. Satou with 24. Alyssa with 15. Sammy with 13. 30 seconds to go. 85-83. 30 seconds. Yeah, Tudo. They were in the scramble drill. Nobody was thinking about fouling. They were just thinking about defending. That's one of those things that they didn't foul initially. It was off an offensive rebound that the 3 was made. Ball in play to Bonner, guarded tightly by Smith. Smith over to Thomas, top of the key here, looking for Sammy. Fakes the pass to Sammy, goes downhill and gets fouled. So they run the same play with Sammy curling hard on the 3-point line on the hander from Thomas. Thomas fakes the handoff and goes right to the basket, draws the foul, going for the layup. Let's see if Thomas can put the final touches on this. Both made will make it a 4-point game. One leaves the door open as she knocks the first down. With 21.7 seconds left. Second free throw is up. Thomas for the dagger. Possible dagger, I should say. And it's a 4-point game with 21 seconds left. Minnesota takes a timeout here. Their final timeout of the game. Now I don't know. Do you go for 3 or do you go for the quick 2 and play the foul game? Wow. They're showing a recap of this game. Sammy Whitcomb misses the initial 3 off an offensive rebound. It finds her again, and she knocks down the 3. Fee with a chance to win it. Step back and misses to the left. And then in overtime, it's been all Phoenix. Kahleah Copper, quiet, hits a left corner 3. And now they're up 87-83. They've outscored the Mercury 8-4 in the quarter. John, yeah, unfortunate, my friend. Unfortunate. So all Minnesota has left is a reset timeout. All right, let's see what happens here. What do they decide to do? Do they go for a quick 3 in the tie and to make it a 1-point game, or do they go for a 2 and make it a 2-point game? Phoenix does have a foul to give. Let's see what happens here. 87-83. Bridget Carlton the inbound. Carlton gets it over to Fee. Fee loads up for a 3, and it's short. Rebound to Thomas, and it's a foul called by Alana Smith, and this game might be over. Thomas going to the line for 2 free throws here. Copper 2 for 8 from 3. Wow. Yeah, she went back to the feeble chemo. That's not the person I would have out there shooting the 3, but you got to roll with your big players. Thomas with the free throw. This should pretty much put a seal on it. 88-83 with 17 seconds left. Thomas for the second one, and she rolls that out. Satou with the offensive rebound. Bridget Carlton rips it out of her hands, and it's a jump ball. And it's quiet there in Minnesota. 88-83. Game looked done in the third quarter. 20-point deficit for the Mercury. They claw all the way back, tie it with the remaining seconds in the fourth to go to overtime, where they've taken over. Jump ball between Carlton and Satou. It tips it to Thomas, and I don't know why they're extending this even more. They're fouling Alyssa Thomas, adding to her points there at the end of the game. So Alyssa Thomas back at the free throw line with 12 seconds to go. Yeah, Durston, them odds might have been astronomical, down 20. I don't think anybody took it, or maybe somebody wild did, as Thomas hits the first. Copper got to get the rebounds to get fouled. I missed a lot of chats. My bad. What did I miss? More scared of Courtney than Collier. Thomas misses the second, but it doesn't really matter. McBride with the ball. McBride comes up the court, and they foul McBride. They take the foul to give. Minnesota was too hype at the half. For Jordan says, salute for Jordan for that comment. Probably was. But the last overtime they were in the playoffs, they faltered. So once it went to overtime, it was all Phoenix. Who do I think is tougher on her players, Reeves or Hammond? I want to say Reeve. And the inbound is kick ball on By Satou. Oh no, that's off. That's off of Bridget. That's out of bounds. Bridget Carlton tried to inbound it. Satou smacks it down and it hits Carlton in the face. They just prolong in this game and it goes out of bounds off of Carlton. And then the ref said it was out of bounds on Satou. That should be Phoenix ball. I don't know why they're prolonging this. I don't know why they're prolonging this. Satou swipes down, it hits off Bridget and goes out of bounds. That should be Phoenix ball. That should not even be a question. I don't know what shorty curly head ref looking at over here, but I'm getting stuff ready for the next game, y'all. But we're gonna stick on this one until it's over. Gots to see it through, my boy. 89-83. What a comeback by the Mercury. What a choke there by the Minnesota Lynx at home. And I think somebody said they haven't never lost to Phoenix at home in the playoffs. And history is meant to be broken. And the challenge was successful. I don't know. It shouldn't even have been challenged. Oh, the ref had looked away. The ref had looked away for a little bit. I saw it. She looked towards the players on the court, looked back, and then just made just had to make a decision there. Wow. 89-83. They're just gonna run the clock out now. They put the subs in. I don't know why they put the subs in for the remaining 5 seconds. And the Phoenix Mercury pulled off the comeback here. Tie for the 3rd largest comeback in WNBA playoff history. 20-point comeback. They'll go to Phoenix on Friday, tying the series up at 1 game apiece. Wow. Blew a 20-point lead to Minnesota Lynx. Blew a 20-point lead. Series is tied at 1-1. Series shifts to Phoenix, where they'll play at least games 3 and 4. So we'll have at least a game 4 now. Game 3 will be on Friday. Game 4 will be on Sunday. Matt said Phoenix broke 80-1. Somebody was asking about that. That was a great dub for Phoenix. It's definitely a series now. Definitely a series now. Love Christ. I got to salute you. Die hard. Been rooting for Phoenix all chat. You're hungry this time. Yeah, that would be crazy if they hit the electric slide on their floor. That would be hilarious. That would be absolutely hilarious. All right, y'all. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna pull up on the other stream. This should redirect y'all over there. I'll see y'all in a bit. Salute.